Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Coming up, how do you collaborate? We've got apps for friend groups, work groups, any kind of groups at all.
Plus, iOS tries out public betas. I'm excited about this. The future of the Genius Bar. And did Google just own Apple's new headquarters?
I don't know. It's looking pretty good. All that and some extremely fuzzy math on iPad Today.
iPad Today is brought to you by Lynda.com, the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. For a free 10-day trial, visit lynda.com/iPad today. That's LYNDA.com/iPad today. And by MeUndies. MeUndies is the most affordable and hippest underwear you'll ever wear. Check out all the styles and get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/twit. And by Gazelle, the fast and simple way to sell your used gadgets. Find out what your used iPhone, iPad, or other Apple product is worth at Gazelle.com. My favorite time of the week, iPad Today time.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah. I had some pretzels before the show, and boy, am I thirsty.
Man, I feel like a woman, says Sarah Lane.
I'm into it. Hi.
Hi, Sarah. How are
Hi,
you?
Leo. You know what? I just want to mention how nice you look. Not that you don't always look nice week after week, but you look especially nice today.
I kind of look like Regis today.
You just look like a distinguished man who knows how to get things done.
I don't back down from a challenge. This is Trunk Club. We talked about it last week, and
it's so nice.
I decided to keep the shoes.
It looks so nice.
The sweater, the gingham. I like it.
You know, sometimes Leo's his fashion is like,
No, it's, you know what? Thank you, Robin. I'm just going to say thank you to my personal stylist. She's helping me a lot.
It's beautiful.
But that was a sponsor from last week, so...
Yeah, whatever. I just wanted to point out what I knew everyone was thinking. So we're all on the same page.
Yeah, and it's also my perfect hair.
It's also your perfect hair.
I think I might keep it this length.
I think it's great. Why wouldn't you?
So as many of you know, I shaved my head on New Year's Eve for charity for the UNICEF fundraiser that we were doing, $75,000. Thank you, everybody. My contribution, I gave a little bit of money, but my contribution also was to shave my head, to spur you on, and it's growing back. This is 2 months later.
I will say, because the going thought is your hair grows about ½ an inch per month.
Yeah.
So 2 months
right where I
later,
am.
that's about right.
It's about an inch.
We're looking at an inch.
Yeah.
An inch off the head in all directions.
It's an angry inch, but it's proud. It's a proud inch.
It's a proud and angry inch. Why wouldn't it be?
I've always had my hairdresser once called it a root lift issue. My hair sticks straight up. And so for this haircut, that's okay.
Yeah, because you don't want it.
I don't want it lying flat. That would be weird.
Well, not an inch long. That would be strange. I wish my roots lifted. Yeah, I got to like.
You don't have root lift?
No. Well, I don't. I mean,
I think
my hair's too long.
I think she made that up, root lift. I don't think that's a real thing.
I think she means a cowlick. And she called it a root lift, so you'd be like, "That's why I pay you the big bucks, hairdresser." I don't know.
Anyway.
You know all the fancy terminology because you went to school.
We're so thrilled that Sarah Lane, despite the fact that she has a high-paying, go-go job as a gal in the city with TechCrunch, still joins us on the weekends to do iPad Today.
I love iPad Today, and I don't want to ever let it go. I think
you're kind of like that girl.
What?
Marlo Thomas. You're like in the city.
Yeah, I'm just making things happy.
You can turn the world on with a smile. That's another show.
Yeah, that's
You could take a nothing day.
Mary
Suddenly
Tyler Moore.
make it seem worthwhile, 'cause it's you, girl, and you should know it.
This morning, repeatedly, while I was actually doing a little research for the show, you know, if you like to paint me as somebody who's, you know, high-paid, high-powered, where I live in the city, right outside my window for about 5 minutes, a woman yelled to a man, "Give me my change! Give me my change!" She didn't express, not explicitly how much she wanted. Give me my change! So yeah, let's just take it down a couple notches. Yeah, I'm just getting by.
Why living in the city is so exciting.
It is.
That was
I looked
never
out the
on
window,
that
like,
girl, that
what
part.
in the world? Give him that change.
Did she get it, you think?
Who knows? Eventually it stopped. I don't want to know how it ended.
Give him my change. Well, you know what? The reason is she was collaborating.
That's correct.
She and another were working together to solve their problems.
There was a money-sharing aspect of their relationship. Yeah. Details, not important. What's important is that they're working together. So there are a couple of apps that I've gotten really...
Give him my change!
that I've gotten really familiar with using since I've been working at TechCrunch.
Do you collaborate a lot with other people?
Yeah, and the funny thing is like, so we have, TechCrunch is interesting because it's based in San Francisco, but we have...
It's all over.
Yeah, because I'm running the video team, and there are people in New York, there are people based in London that are giving us videos, and we, so it's just like, and everybody's in different time zones, and it's like, it would be impossible to get on the phone, even if you were to get onto like a Skype group call or whatever. Right. So we have these collaborative tools. So I can basically look at a glance and say, oh, Steve is working on this particular thing because he's updated it in the appropriate channels. So I don't have to ping him and be like, Steve, what are you working on? So I know that you're working on something. And that is really important.
And we use Hipchat for that.
Do you?
Which we love.
Yeah, some people at TechCrunch use Hipchat. I'm not using it regularly.
Hipchat's used mostly by developers because it's tied to Atlassian. And so if you're a developer, and this is where we started using it, was with our web developers, but it's very similar. The idea is it's kind of like IM, but it integrates into, let me just load Hipchat in here. The nice thing is Hipchat will work in a browser, but you can, I have it on here. Oh, I don't have a login. I don't use this iPad for it, but I have it on my phone, I have it on my desktop, I have my iPad. And if I quickly log in, I'll show you our ongoing conversations. And it's really great. And it has little features that will tie into Atlassian or GitHub. This is why developers like it. And there's little things like if you put a link in there, it has a little thing called Linky that will do a preview of the page. So unlike a normal chat where you see a link, but you don't know what that leads to, you can kind of see a little preview underneath it. So it has video sharing, desktop sharing, stuff like that. So that's Hipchat. But you use something that's a competitor that's been just all the rage.
Oh my gosh, I am so obsessed with Slack. Do you guys use Slack?
Stuart Butterfield had created this. He was the guy who created Flickr.
Flickr.
And it has been a huge success.
And then he had, remember, it was sort of like a internet-based game of some kind.
Well, that's what Flickr was supposed to be.
Yeah,
was a game.
But after he and Katerina left Flickr, he went on to develop. Oh gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Maybe somebody in chat will remember. But he was kind of working on something. The reason I know is because Daniel Burker, who now works at Google and used to work at Dig, was working on this project with him for a while. And it was a little off the radar. And then he started working on Slack. Now I've heard of Slack. It's like, oh, it's a collaboration tool. It's something that people use, either for, a friend group or enterprise or whatever. If you've got some people that you need to maybe categorize into different conversations, be able to send files back and forth easily.
It's very similar. We should have a Hipchat versus Slack battle.
Oh my God. I mean, I am so into Slack, I don't even know where to start.
So show me a little bit
about it. Okay, so I happen to be on a friend group. So I use Slack for work, but I don't want to show you that stuff because that's work stuff.
Right.
But I'm also
But you like it so much you've been using it with your friends?
Oh yeah, it's actually so much fun, especially for those of you who like hanging out in our Twit IRC chat. There is some sort of there are some IRC.
Yeah.
It's
all of these
sort
are kind of instant
that.
messengery, right?
Yeah. So I'm in a group with. I mean, how many of us are there? Let's look at. Let's look at my, not my messages. Let's look in my, Of course, you'd think, okay, so this is just so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are about 10 of us in this group. We're based all over the U.S. We're not all over the world, but we're definitely all over the U.S. And we've got all these categories for just stuff that we like to talk about. So food, general is just music, books, comics, journalism, quotes, random, selfies. That's where we all send pictures of ourselves.
Those are the hashtags, though.
Well, but it's hashtags.
It's also a channel?
It's channel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So every once in a while.
So it is like IRC.
And you can see, if something's not bold or versus bold. I know there's new stuff in here that I haven't seen yet. And every once in a while, somebody will start a selfie thread where it's just like, take a picture of yourself right now. And so we all kind of like,
these friends
sort of checking in.
who work at AOL? Or
No,
these
no,
are
no.
just...
This is just like a whole different thing.
So to get your friend group to use this is kind of a big deal, I think.
Yeah, but once you get going, so, okay, so some of you may be very familiar with the idea of just, it's very old school, just like an email thread, right? There's 5 of you on the email, or maybe you're all using like a Facebook group chat or whatever. It's like you have the same sense of humor, maybe you're sending little jokes back and forth, or you're sharing photos or GIFs, or you're just talking about stuff that you have shared interest in, right? Everybody can be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Slack is so good for that because this group of friends and I were all on an email thread for years. And it started to get unruly. You know, you're looking at email threads and there's all these, you know, comments, and it's like, ugh. And then with Gmail, like once you get to 100 replies in a message, it automatically sends you into a new Gmail thread. I don't know if you knew that happened, but it does happen. So we're, you know, a lot of prolific talking.
Now, how much is this costing?
Nothing.
So your friends don't have to buy Slack.
Zero.
See, that's important because if they had to buy it, they'll never do it.
Right. No. This is, I mean, it's super fun. Super fun. So not only can we talk about stuff in, you know, various, I know that you would prefer me to click around, but I feel like the books channel is probably the safe place.
You don't know what you're going to see.
Well, because you know,
Sarah's feed.
Well,
there'll be people in MeUndies.
Well, yeah, this is a private channel, right? So if somebody was typing right now, I would see that they're typing. So there's a little bit of that like fun, like, ooh, immediate thing, which we never really got with email. And you can also direct message anybody. So you can kind of be like, oh, hey, John or Tim or, you know, Susan or whatever. There's just something I just want to talk to you on the back channel since I know we're both connected right now. If you want to change categories, you can do so very easily. You can add members if you have those admin capabilities. You can have some notification settings. I have those off because this group is very chatty and I just can't deal. You could leave a group if you wanted to or archive certain stuff. What's also cool and I've found very helpful is if you, for example, want to be like, oh, you know, I was talking to somebody about Paris, and I was kind of like...
You could search through
like for keywords, right? So we get keywords come up, and so you can be like, yeah, there's the message, because it was in general, and I had forgotten. Or there are files that you can pull up easily. Like sometimes we do like a GIF dump, right? Like everybody like post your funniest GIFs, because that's because we're not adults. And so I, you know, at one point I was like, okay, I was making some joke about Meryl Streep, so I can go and say, just look through my GIFs that I posted, and then I remember like, oh yeah, there's the GIF that I posted of Meryl Streep. Maybe I can use that later for some reason.
Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
That's when she was really young.
Well, Meryl has a lot of, you know, she's very, she has a lot of different looks. Yeah, she's young and obviously not having a very good day.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's from, actually.
Right.
But I was making a point about something. Now I could go ahead and star that in.
Or you could go, you could look through all your files.
I could look through all my files, or I could look through files that other people have sent, or snippets, or images, or PDFs, or Google Docs. You can manage your team. Look through starred items. What's that?
Stickers?
No.
Most of the business-focused apps like this don't have stickers.
Now, one of, it was funny, I was actually, like, I've been so obsessed with Slack lately, and you can look at, you know, if you're directly mentioned on something, and it works sort of like Twitter in that way. I could say, like, @Tom, and it'll be like, oh, you mean Tom, right? Because he's part of the group. There's a guy who was a founding member, who's the founding designer of Square. Square, of course, is, you know, they do point of purchase sales, and they've got the little Square dongle and blah, blah, blah. And he said on Twitter, because I was searching Twitter the other day, just like, let's see what other people are saying about Slack. And he, because there is a Mac Slack app that I use when I'm just sitting at my Mac. And he said, well, that is an absolute disaster. Just goes to show you people who design apps don't know anything about designing for the desktop. I like it fine. I mean, we're looking at the iOS app, of course, the Slack app.
You think it's better on iOS?
I like it in general, actually. I think it's a lot of fun. Now, of course, I am showing you and I'm explaining something this is a fun social thing that a group of my friends and I have,
Well, that's what
decided
really
that we
intrigues
like.
me is that Slack is fun enough to use that you could get your friend group to use it, as
Totally.
opposed at work you have to use it because that's what they use.
But I do have, now if I wanted to go ahead and say switch teams, I do also have, add a team, an AOL account as well. I'm not going to go through the process of that.
So you're going to
right
switch
now.
teams on the show right now?
No.
Okay, because we don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it.
No.
No. But there is, I have an AOL Slack group, and that is great for, so for example, there's a graphic designer who does mock-ups of a lot of our, show pages that needs banners or, like a headshot and a blurb and make it look pretty, There's always a person on that team. It's certainly not me. Well, he doesn't work in San Francisco. I've never even met him in person, but it's a great way for him to be like, is this kind of what you were talking about? Send me a little image. I say, not quite. Here's a little bit what I want. Here's more. So there's a back and forth. Now, of course, as you mentioned, Hipchat would be a way that you could do that. You could do that really via text, I guess, or email or whatever. I just find Slack's interface intuitive. It's easy to know when someone's online. It's just, having a bunch of different categories. For example, my video team, it's like there are categories of, what we're shooting, what we're editing, what's in the queue, what needs following up on.
I have to say, after using Hipchat for a while, I've really been sold on that aspect of it. If you're on a team working together, email is not a great way to do it. But having this always, so the same thing happens in our web design. People will be saying, oh, I have a question, and they can ask in the chat, in the Hipchat room, and I'm always on it, somebody will see it and respond. And very similarly, I think it's a little more a developer and maybe work focused.
Right. It's light on the design aspects.
Yeah, actually,
it's more about getting stuff done.
The iPhone app maybe is a little bit better. Here's all the files. So if you say, oh, I know I got an image here. Here's the PDF file. It also will show all the links that have been shared. So, and then the real thing that makes Hipchat more powerful in what you see is, and I'm not using a lot of plugins, but you can get a lot of plugins for this with a lot of development. You can even say, your website's down, can come through Hipchat, things like that, some of the automated services. So, yeah, but I think, looking at Slack, it looks like it's the kind of thing that'd be more appealing and more fun for a group of friends. That really looks cool. I can see why it's going crazy. Stuart Butterfield this is the hottest, right now, the hottest startup in Silicon Valley, I think.
And I'm sort of sad to say that as much as I kept hearing Slack, people being like, oh my gosh, Slack is the best tool. It's such a good tool for teams. Of course, in the startup world, that you have sort of smallish teams and it's sort of perfect for them. But it really can be used in many different ways. It can be used for certainly work-based collaborative sharing, but it can be used for whatever you want. It's just set up in a way that you can say, hey, me and a group of other humans, or animals if you have animals that are smart enough to use iOS devices, that need to talk about a bunch of different things, and we need to categorize those things and be able to send and receive a lot of different media. It's perfect. I love it.
I like it. And I'm going to put it a plug for Hipchat because we use it. But
Hipchat as well.
I have
People
to say,
love
I
Hipchat.
tried Slack when it came out, and I thought, oh, this is cool. But I don't have the social power you do.
Yeah.
I can't get anybody to do anything I want to do. They all have their own thing,
Well, maybe you should be part of my Slack group.
I will join your Slack. Can I invite you?
I feel like you wouldn't get a lot of it because it's nonsensical, but that's the fun of it.
Oh, yeah, nonsensical. What you're really saying is I'm just too old for your stuff.
I'm not saying that. Most of the time when I'm reading what my friends are writing, we're just trying to outdo each other in nonsensibility.
You think I don't like nonsense?
Nonsensicalness.
Nonsensicalness.
Nonsensicality.
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 Have you seen Forge?
Forge.
By Adonit?
No.
This is, I don't know if this would count as a collaborative app. It's a visual brainstorming app that has a lot of new features. People are singing its praises. Now, I personally have no drawing ability, but if you're a designer, this is a free app that is really quite impressive. This is Forge. I'll start with the app, the pre-built thing that's in here. So you can take a look at, this. I imported an image here. You can use your pens. You can do sketches. You can organize things. If you want to go to the next one, you just, whoops, I'm drawing. Stop. Stop. Although that's kind of fun. I'm making it very fast.
Yeah, the wind is whipping through.
Yeah, it has, of course, a variety of drawing tools, a variety of color tools.
Reminds me of paper.
It is very much like paper.
Yeah.
You can add image layers. So unlike paper, it's more like Photoshop that you can have layers, and you can take layers out of one drawing and apply it to another drawing, which is kind of an odd idea. I think it's a very interesting. Look at that. You see that? This is kind of swipe in some stuff here. I am not an artist.
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay.
That's
So,
okay. I'm not either.
This isn't something that you or I probably would use. Let's look at the layers, though. Well, there's only one layer in here, but if I had more layers, I could play with those a little bit. Let's open this one up here and see what's going on. This is the demo. I'm not this good of an artist. So I can add a layer here, and I could say, you know, maybe I'm doing markup. This is where the collaboration would come in. You know, like these are too big and so forth. And then you can use Dropbox and other things to share it. I think this is kind of interesting. I've been playing with it a little bit. It was an editor's choice. It's free. It's called Forge. And Adonit makes, I think they make styluses, right? So they make a variety of things. If you're an artist or you do visual thinking and you want something, a design tool, kind of like 53, but more focused on the idea of working on designs, adding layers to them, separating layers out, bringing different pieces together. This is kind of an interesting idea. I found it fascinating, frankly.
Well.
Forge.
Well, you think 3 collaborative tools are enough.
I'm excited about this next
We're
one.
just getting started.
Because I know the guy who does it, yeah.
You do, Trello?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Isn't it Dan Brecklin? Who does Trello?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. Show me Trello.
Okay, so Trello, again, I'd like to think I'm at the forefront of everything new and cool and exciting, but I'd never used Trello until I started working at TechCrunch. Well, and the app, the iOS app is newish. It hasn't been around that long.
Yeah.
Here's what's cool. Okay, so you can have multiple boards of stuff that is something that you are working through. So it's sort of like...
No, it's... Okay, keep going.
All right.
I know who it is.
You're going to figure it out.
No, in fact, I want to get him on triangulation. Go ahead, keep going.
Good.
Yeah.
So I've got my TCTV, that's what we call our TechCrunch production, but I'll get to that in a second. So if you just sort of go like...
Spolsky.
What's...
Joel Spolsky.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
this is his software.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is when you first sign up for Trello, or yeah, you do have to sign up because you have to have an account. Sign up for Trello. It attempts to be like, okay, so here are these cards, right? It kind of almost looks like a wallet, right? With a variety of cards that are stacked in a wallet. It's sort of like you can, you know, task 1, task 2, task 3. You can add images, anything that can be hyperlinked. You can add checklists. And then if you are going to collaborate with a team, for example, when I log into Trello with my TechCrunch.com email domain, I am linked with other people who are also using these same boards. Then you can add members. Those members then, if you assign something to them, let's say I'm saying like, hey, Yashad, you are going to be editing this story about Trello, and I want it done on the 7th. He can then add that to his iCal or his Google Calendar. You can, if you're done with a card, you can archive it somewhere. You can move it to a different area. You can say like, all right, now we're in this area. Okay, this is actually something that I still have to work on. So the whole idea is just this kind of living, breathing, what are we working on type thing. All right, now, you might say, well, you're just looking at like a welcome board and it doesn't show me anything. I will show you briefly kind of how something like this works in actual practice. We've got production, ideas, news ideas, writer requests, stuff that's going on in New York, what we're waiting on, what we've planned, what we've already shot, what we're already editing, stuff that's in progress but not done, stuff that is done, stuff that's been posted on TechCrunch.com, stuff that's archived, and things that are canceled. And this is actually going on with a group of, oh, how many of us are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 10 of us. Now I can go ahead and go in and move stuff around, depending on what we're trying to get done at any point. You can change stuff too on your end if you'd like the background to be a different color, or you want to assign certain tasks to be color coded to yellow or that sort of thing. But you can have, I can have, as Sarah Lane Rocks, which is my Trello username, I can have a variety of boards that are associated with different domains. And it doesn't have to be a domain, but it's like, I've got my TechCrunch stuff, but Leo and I could then be like, okay, so for iPad today, let's say, right, new board, iPad today, go ahead and say organization, that would be Twit, visibility, let's say public, why not? Okay, go ahead and create that. And now to do, okay, yeah, that's fine, find apps. Now, that is obviously extremely general, but in the Find Apps category, then I can say, okay, well, who is that assigned to? Is that assigned to me? Is that assigned to Leo? Is it for both of us? When is the due date? Do we need a checklist of types of apps that we're looking for?
It's kind of Pinteresty, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not really very Pinteresty. But maybe, sure.
Well, look at my Trello.
Okay.
So we wanted to plan the wedding, for instance. So we had our wedding, right? And in here we had the 1 year time frame. As you count.
What do you mean save the dates? Did I not get an invitation to your wedding?
We were supposed to send those out 10 to 12 months ago.
Because it sort of seemed like you had a wedding without me.
And then, no, this is a sample Trello from the Trello folks themselves.
I was like,
these guys wanted to be on the show. I'll get them. Joel Spolsky is from Joel on Software. He's a legend. Trello's legendary.
I love you, Trello.
I just said, oh, screw you, Joel. I don't need you. But now that you love Trello,
you need him.
I'm going to get an interview with that guy.
You need him.
No, actually, he's really great.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention something that is one of the most obvious tools to us at Twit. And
what is that?
Google,
we use it all the time.
Google Docs.
Yeah.
Well, Google Drive, I guess you call it now. Specifically for this show.
Sheets.
It's Sheets, yeah. So iPad Today is put together
I've got the sheets.
inside.
You've got the sheets. We have the same sheets. We share the sheets. We split the sheets. We share the sheets. It's all in there.
I've got a ton of stuff. Well, let's
yeah, show something you don't mind showing.
Well, of course I don't have iPad Today right front and center. I've got like
I do, because that's what I use.
Which I feel like I shouldn't even go into.
No, don't go in there.
iPad Today rundowns.
There you go.
This is an archive. So yeah, like if you would like to see the sausage get made and back in October.
That's what we use.
4th of 2012. It looks exactly the same, by the way. We haven't changed a thing.
No.
But yeah, this is what Leo and I, and right now it's Zach, who's our technical director, and our editor after the fact, use as, okay, they're going to talk about ZBox. Here's the link.
Now, ironically, this is a spreadsheet. Yeah. But even when we were at Tech TV, you'd use spreadsheets for rundowns. It's just a logical way to do a rundown.
Yeah. Yeah, because the show is based on basically just a bunch of little boxes.
Stuff.
Little things. Now
we could use Trello though for the show. Would you rather? Would you rather?
I'm sure we could do it in a fun, creative way, but I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, so that's the thing is.
Then you have to rethink everything you're doing.
Right. This is just, it's like
a method. It's
a method that works, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to work. And besides the few occasions where, for whatever reason, Google Drive goes down or something, this works like a dream. The stuff is hyperlinked, so the technical director can follow us. The editor knows that this is the lower third, the information that I want him or her to put in once we're done. When I say things like, hey, that's it for this episode of iPad Today. Okay, go ahead and remind people what our website is. So it's all sort of there. But this isn't just mine. It's mine and anybody else to edit who has been invited by me as an administrator. Now, for something completely different, since we're talking about enterprise but also fun friend stuff, me and Prager and our good friend Kevin Rose, you might know him,
I've heard of him
as somebody who is in tech. We have decided that we are going to track our alcohol consumption and share that information with each other to keep everybody honest. Because we're all a little too old to you know, be acting this way. So, but it's kind of just a fun thing, right? So here's, without revealing anything from anybody else, like here's my little drink spreadsheet, right? And you go ahead and you be just totally honest. You know, sometimes you have 0 drinks, sometimes you have 8.5.
You figured out a way to take all the fun out of drinking.
No, it's great. It's great. This wasn't my idea, by the way, and I'll let you guess whose it was. But
sounds like Prager, but I'm thinking probably Kevin.
that's the sort of thing that you can use spreadsheets for in a variety of different ways.
Wow.
You know, the things I tell you guys, it's like I just don't have a filter anymore.
Wow.
You ought to know. You ought to know. And that could be for anything. You could be to track finances. Anything.
You know what?
Collaboration is the point.
Collaboration. Trello's cool. I like it. I'm just quickly setting up my new Cozi house.
Oh.
Do you know about the Cozi house?
I do not.
Because there is a way to collaborate that we all have dealt with in life, and that is roommates, or if you're a family, having the chores, having the things that need to be done. And Cozi, for instance, is a really great tool for doing that. What day is your trash pickup? Oh, man. Actually, it's Tuesday. And so they'll send me a reminder the night before. Do I want random acts of kindness? Twice a week, like be generous. Yes. Home maintenance reminders. Healthy Monday, I like that. A weekly resolution. Try a new vegetable. Family movie release dates, I like that too. So we're going to turn all of those features on. It's going to put together a calendar. You've got contacts. This is the free version. If you pay for the gold version, contacts, birthdays, meals, you can get more fancy. You also get rid of the ads. This is how to keep a grocery list, how to have a to-do list, family chores.
Wow.
Isn't this clever? I think this is a really nice idea. You create one account, the entire family shares it, and so everybody sees it. If I want to add an appointment, like, oh, we got to take Michael to the dentist, and then let's say we're going to do this Wednesday. There we go. And you can say, let the family know about the new appointment. Now, that's a paid feature. It's $29.99 a year. It's not super expensive, and you get a few new features, and they turn off the ads. But if you want to try it for free, I think it's kind of a cool program.
It's called Cozi, C-O-Z-I?
Yeah, Cozi.
I love it.
C-O-Z-I, Family Life Simplified. I don't have the notifications turned on here, but you probably would want to turn them on.
Love them. Yeah. Or you.
And I like
forget to check in.
I like the. I'm sorry, I exited out of it by accident. I like the idea that it gives you little inspirational messages too. So that's kind of cool. To-do lists. This is, of course, very important in the family, and grocery lists. And you know what? The kids can add items to the grocery list that they want, but you can ignore them. Plan a little family meal.
Yeah.
They got meal planning, but again,
you would like those Kraft singles, wouldn't you?
More of those. No, it's more like, can we have more Cheetos?
No.
No. Cheetos and root beer. Everybody likes Cheetos and root beer.
Wrong go. I don't like, well, root beer's okay. If there's ice cream in it.
Okay, well, we'll put that on the list.
Cheetos,
Cozy.
though, are we still doing that? Cheetos. You could be eating, well, anyway, that's a different story.
Family life or roommate life collaboration, that's the toughest of all.
Absolutely.
You can get that working, you got the rest of it.
I mean, who wants to have an argument about who forgot to buy toilet paper?
Not me.
I don't either. I really don't.
Amazon Subscribe and Save, baby. Every 3 months, it just comes at the door.
Yeah, right.
There's a knock.
Or if you're me, you're like,
UPS guy says, your toilet paper's here.
Crap.
You know, it is annoying, though.
Literally.
Subscribe and Save, because it just says, it has like a big, here's your toilet paper. The box, they don't wrap it or anything. It's just a big box of toilet paper on our porch every 3 months. I guess that's okay. Everybody has it.
You get a big box of toilet paper every 3 months?
Nah, more than that. Monthly. I think that one we get monthly.
Monthly?
You know, well, I don't know. What are you asking me for? I have to look it up on Subscribe and Save.
Is
do you do
Ozzy
Subscribe and Save?
No. I like go to the corner store and buy like a roll of 4. And that lasts me like 6 months.
Yeah, make the UPS guy. Oh, yeah, it's just you, isn't it?
It's just me.
Well, the longest you can have any Subscribe and Save item, I think, is 6 months.
Oh. I should do that. I should do that for all sorts of things.
I do it for dish detergent, you know, all the things that you buy on a regular basis.
And you're just like,
and you use kind of in a predictably regular thing. toothpaste, deodorant, cat food.
Cat food and cat litter are the two things that are,
Perfect.
I mean, whatever I do that's different, that can never change.
And then Amazon likes it because they do one delivery a month. And so they can make one big box. You get a box with a ton of stuff in it. I get coconut milk, a big box every month. And then the toilet paper and the coconut, it all comes together. And then they give you 15% off if you buy, you know, you have to have a number of items, but it's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Costco for Amazon.
Yeah, I don't go to Costco anymore.
Who would?
They bring it to me.
I can't even handle it. I'm sure some Costcos are very pleasant, but not the one that's near me. It's like hell on earth. That's what the Costco's like. Unless you like screaming children having tantrums.
You gotta go.
Then it's a great place.
Saturday afternoon at Costco. It's the best time.
Stop it. Just stop it. It hurts.
It's so good.
For the links to all the apps that we just mentioned, a lot of collaboration happening and a lot of Vanilla Ice jokes during this segment in our chat room. Don't think I didn't notice. You're all very, very clever and smart. But you can go to twit.tv/IPT, stop, collaborate, and listen.
I missed it.
That's what's happening with that.
I missed it.
I had to spell it out. Twit.tv/IPT is our show archive. It's where you see all of our past episodes. And it's a wonderful place to hang out. If you've ever missed any of our shows, or you'd like to subscribe to the show and then it just gets downloaded every week and you don't have to think about it. Because we're actually now shooting the show on Saturdays. It used to be Mondays. We release the show on Mondays because the editor still needs a little bit of time to work on it. But if you're kind of like, you know what, I don't know where they are or what they're doing anymore, Sarah's all over the place.
What's going on?
Then you just subscribe and it doesn't matter. You just get the show when the show is ready and then you're like, I'm having the best day because I like you people. Or you hate watch us. And that's fine too.
Just remember, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
That's Eminem.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was Vanilla Ice.
That's a different white rapper. Good grief.
This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo.
Lose yourself a moment of honor, never let it go.
You know what, I'm impressed?
That I knew it?
One line.
Yeah.
Boom.
This is what I do. This is my, like, great gift. This is it.
Our show. You know, if lynda.com ever has, like, you know, rap lyrics unraveled, Sarah Lane should be the instructor, because lynda.com has the best courses by the people who really know. They're great teachers. They don't, I don't think, have anything on rap lyrics, but they do have some really great courses on audio production, the record industry. They have stuff on Word and Excel and PowerPoint. Of course, if you're a photographer, lynda.com is a great place to learn. Photoshop, the best. You want to learn negotiation tactics, build a website. lynda.com has everything you need to feed your curious mind. It's for curious people, problem solvers, people who want to learn. Make learning a part of your life, and I guarantee you, your life will be much better. Some of the courses on lynda.com I've been looking at lately, because I'm really interested. I love programming. I love iOS. Localization for developers. iOS app development with Swift Essential Training. I've been taking the Swift courses. Love them. Here's one. If you're new to, you want to learn programming for non-programmers, iOS 8. It teaches you how to build an iOS 8 app from scratch with no experience required. You'll feel so good at the end of this. You'll go, wow, I really accomplished something. Now, membership at lynda.com means you don't have to pick any one course. You get access to all the courses. Thousands of video courses on demand, wherever you are, on your computer, on your iOS, your Android device. You can take notes as you go on screen and refer to them later. They have transcripts of every course, so you can search for the part you want or read along. And sometimes some of us like to learn by reading. That's a great way to do it. All the courses are divided up into manageable chunks, so you can learn during your break, on the subway, on the bus. It's just fabulous. Lynda, Lynda.com. We're going to give you 10 days unlimited use of lynda.com right now. See the app? That's so awesome to have that Lynda app on your, I just love it. Oh, what is this, app development? This is a course. Oh, finding it there. Here you go. So you're learning how to install Xcode as you get ready to do your iOS 8 app.
Cool.
They walk you through the whole thing. I thought I was looking at screenshots. Download tutorials, watch them on the go. I love it. Flat rate means you have access to all the courses for one low price every month. And whether you're looking to become an expert or you just want to get better about your hobby, you want to learn something new, I love lynda.com. lynda.com/iPad today. Go there, you'll get 10 days free. That should be enough to decide. lynda.com/iPad today. Get learning today. It makes you feel better. I love it. lynda.com.
Love Linda. Love Linda. I mean, you just, don't you want to keep learning? Never stop learning.
I've decided it's the only thing that's going to keep my brain from atrophying. Even then, it's atrophying, but I want to slow it down.
Even if you're really, really good at something, like you're good at your job, you're good at your career, your craft, whatever. It's like
you should do something opposite then.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I'm really into photography is because I'm all about hearing, and because I've been a radio guy for so long, so I want to develop my visual sense.
Yeah.
So I picked something that was the opposite of what I do at work. That's a nice thing to do.
But it's something that you can actually use because...
Actually, as it turns out, it's been very valuable.
It's been very useful. It's been very valuable. I just like learning stuff where it's like, well, I'm probably not going to go back to school and get my, biology degree. Right. But that doesn't mean that it's just like it's over for me. I can go and
well, exactly.
Learn stuff.
Continue to learn.
Yeah.
That's why coding for me. I'm never going to be a coder. Those days are gone. But I love it, and so it's really fun for me to work through Lynda courses and create stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just really
you dip
fun.
in, learn some stuff.
Yeah.
That Lynda's great for that.
Yep.
Hey, so you mentioned earlier in the show that you were excited about these iOS public betas that Apple is going to be
because I think this is really cool.
offering really for the first time. So for anybody who's like, I don't really understand what public betas mean, that is the difference between developer betas, where you hear about...
you have to be a registered developer to do it. There's all sorts of restrictions on who has access to it. You actually have to pay money to the Apple Developer Program. I think Apple learned their lesson, first of all, from 8.0.1. That just was horrible, and it crashed everybody's system, and you lost fingerprint, and you lost...
It was a mess.
So they realized, maybe we better test a little bit more before we release. They did this with OS X Yosemite, and it was a great success.
Right.
In fact, I signed up for the beta of Yosemite because I wanted to experience this, and it was really cool because and then they had a reporting tool that made it very easy. It was on your dock. So you can do this now with iOS 8 without being a professional developer. I will not do it because you still do have to sign an NDA. You can't talk about what you're using, but so it's not good for a journalist. But for an average person who is very excited about iOS and wants to help Apple, this is a great idea. And I don't think we'll get the same showstoppers, I hope. It's been a little buggy.
So apparently, for you,
iOS 8? Oh, it's notoriously buggy.
Still, though, right now?
Well, it's gotten better, but what version are we at? I mean, they've been updating it. This is the third or fourth update.
Good question. I don't even know what we're on.
8.12, I think.
8.12.
Is that right?
Or 1.3? Anyway, 8. No, wait. 8, no,
I think we're at 8.12.
8.
Yeah, no, we're 8.13. You're right.
Yeah.
And then 8.2 will be coming out in a month.
Right.
That'll be the Apple Watch.
Right.
I call it the iWatch.
And then we're, in iOS 9, we'll hear about...
9 will be this fall for the new iPhones.
Yeah, but we'll hear about it probably in June.
And so, is this just for 8, or can you be iOS 9 beta, public beta? Will there be an iOS 9?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, that's the story anyway. We're not at iOS 9, but I can't imagine that they would roll it out for 8 and then not continue that.
Right. They've released 8.2 betas to the developers. I don't know is the public program begun yet, or is it?
No.
No.
It's going to start with 8.2. No, 8.3.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to start with 8.3.
They're pretty far down the road with 2.
Yeah.
And what do I do to sign up?
As a public person?
I think there's a website, betas.apple.com.
Let me double check before I tell you something wrong. It
8.3 will be after the watch. 8.4 will be the Beats release, we believe, and then it'll be 9.
Right. Yes. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I saw the page because I went there. I was interested. I went there.
I don't know.
And I thought, I'll sign up for this. Actually, it was Megan was asking about it, so I went there. And I said, no, we can't sign up for it because then we couldn't report. It'd be problematic to report on what's coming in iOS. I'd prefer not to be NDA'd. Lou MM, who's a developer at Microsoft, of all people, says he found out that the NDA is not because of us, journalists, but they just have to do it for patent reasons. That makes sense, too. You can't reveal this. We don't want to get sued before we get to put the product out, I guess.
Yeah, you don't... I don't know. In our line of work, the last thing I want is to like
No
know-
encumbrances.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to be in the dark. I like to be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to not know what I'm doing.
I don't know where that stupid thing is.
All right, I'm going to search for it.
You find it. You find it. Because I believe you that it exists, but I didn't have it in my notes.
It is mid-March. Public beta. You're right. I don't see it either. There's got to be a site.
There's probably a site.
All right, chat room hasn't found it for us
Yeah.
yet. Usually if we delay long enough.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, so 8.2, since it's been out for developers, yeah, they're not even going to bother with the public beta for that. They'll start at 8.3,
Right.
should be March-ish, and then 9 in the
But you think
summer.
we're going to get 8.2 pretty soon, I would guess.
Yeah, because
'Cause it's a
developers have been
watch.
tinkering around.
Yeah.
So back to talking about enterprise for a second. You know, Apple's obviously made quite great inroads in the enterprise over the last few years, and some of it very deliberate, and some of it kind of, you know, are we going to have an iPad Pro? Is that going to be something for enterprise? We've
I
talked
want
about
it.
that.
When is that coming out?
I don't know.
You sold me. It's your fault. I laughed at first, and then the more I think about it, the more I want it.
This becomes more dramatic week after week. You know this. Somehow I was
Your fault.
the little bird in Tim Cook's ear saying, "Give us the iPad Pro," and now it's all my fault. No.
It's 12 inches.
I have no idea.
We don't know, but we think it might have a stylus, or there may be a stylus sold separately.
Correct, maybe. But the reason that I bring this up, not to just rehash old rumors, it's because kind of interesting numbers that came out of the fourth quarter of 2014 that looked at enterprise share across different OSs. iOS, 73%. Q4 2014.
In business?
Android dropped to 25%.
In business?
Windows flat at 1%. Now we're talking mobile.
Where's BlackBerry?
And we're talking mobile.
Is BlackBerry not in there at all?
Well, BlackBerry has less than 1%.
That is a shock, because it used to own enterprise, didn't it? That was the business smart device.
I mean, that is insanity. That's insanity, right? That is crazy town.
No kidding.
Crazy.
No
In
kidding.
Q3, so if we, you just go back a little bit, well, they're actually just breaking down. This is a VentureBeat article, which we will link to in our show notes, by the way, for the show. But yeah, the overall point is iOS devices very much in use in the enterprise in a variety of places and on the rise, apparently. Now, of course, that's not just iPads. That's of course iPhones. I mean, if I didn't have a phone already, I would be able to get a phone for use at my job as well. I had
What do they
couple
offer
different
you?
options. iPhone.
Not Android? Not
no,
BlackBerry?
No, you can
not
get an
Windows?
Android.
You could?
Yeah.
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 I would guess they give you the choice. Just like you could have a Windows
Yeah.
or a Mac.
I think probably I could like put in a little special help request and get whatever, as long as I
Right.
made the case that I needed it for some reason.
Well, wait a minute.
But
now.
pretty much everybody, and this is a large company,
I'm gonna
is
help
either
you here.
Apple or Android.
Slow down.
Okay.
If you're going to run TechCrunch's TV business, hey, TechCrunch, presumably you want all the video at TechCrunch TV available on all mobile devices. Sarah Lane has to have them all.
Right.
All of them.
All of them.
Every one of them.
Every single one of them.
Because she's got to look and see if it's working and it looks good. How do you expect her to develop this program without every one of them?
Can't possibly do that.
Just don't ask me for that.
Okay.
That goes for you, Patrick.
Was that the point that you were making?
Yeah, you could get every
that
one
your
of them. You say,
brand?
no, I need them all.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's.
You should have one of each.
Yeah, it's different for me. You know, because we have to do actually testing and blah, blah, blah.
Right,
for my
that's what I'm
department.
saying.
I'm just saying for the average employee, the person who just got hired
what you're
to
telling
be.
me is you already figured this out and you got them all.
No.
Well, you could.
Yes.
All right, just helping you out here.
Good.
Just trying to bankrupt that Tim Armstrong guy, put him out of business.
Do we have power for my MacBook? I am about to run out of batteries. Good
I don't know.
grief.
What do you plug into?
I don't know. I'm
Does
sure.
this help?
No, that doesn't help. What is that? it's just, what is that even?
That's a HDMI cable.
Oh, God. Yeah, that won't do.
Will this help?
No, that won't help. See, you'd think we'd know tech. Sorry, it's my own
engineer,
fault.
you know what?
usually,
It's funny
I'm
because
usually
in
not sitting here for this long.
In my office, I have a hotline button. And when I press it, and I pressed it by accident the other day, like 4 engineers came barreling into my office saying, what? And I said, what? And they said, you pressed the hotline button. I said, what? And they said, yeah, is there an emergency? No, I was just testing.
Were you just testing, or did you press it by accident?
I pressed it by accident.
Oh, dear. You
But
leaned
we don't
over.
have that here.
We don't, but I sure would like that. But the thing is you just...
wait a minute.
You just say, thank you.
See?
Thank you, invisible person.
Look at that. I just pressed the button.
That's the beautiful thing about any day of the week. You want to work on Saturday, Sarah? Great. Have a good time.
Wait
Oh,
a minute.
You know what?
Wait a minute.
I need
Miss
a,
Lane does not have a 2010
I
MacBook
need
Pro.
the other thing.
Can you give her an up-to-date MagSafe adapter? Wait a minute.
Invisible engineer.
Push the wrong button.
Push the right button. It's because you pushed the wrong button. You got the 2010 engineer.
I did.
We fired that guy 5 years
What was
ago.
he doing in the back?
Good question.
All right.
While we get that handled, and thank you, invisible engineer named Alex Gumpel. iOS on the
That invisible.
Thank you, invisible. But springing back to life, engineer. There's a Back to the Future joke in there somewhere. I just couldn't make it happen.
At first I thought, thank you, invisible butt was what you said, but you meant there was more to come after
I'm not going to make comments about other people's rear ends. Not on this show. Actually, let's not speak too soon. There's still some time
There's
left.
still a MeUndies ad still to come.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Talking about, anyway. So Apple is going to make some changes to its Genius Bar. Did you hear this?
Well, I heard it because I said it at the beginning of the show, but I didn't know anything about it, so maybe you could fill me in.
I will. I'll fill you in right now. So they're going to call it the new concierge that replaces the traditional way that you would walk into a Genius Bar if you didn't make an appointment.
Oh, they're not changing the bar itself.
No, they're changing the way that they
How you make
process
appointments.
your request.
Yes. No, I did hear this.
This
is good.
It's interesting. So this is the Angela Arendt's type of a thing, right?
This
'Cause
is
she's
only
handling
if,
retail.
only if you're coming into the store.
Right.
The online process of making an appointment with a Genius
That doesn't go
remains.
away.
Yeah.
Right. This is sort of like, off the street, because they do accept walk-ins and they'll figure something out
The
for you.
last thing you want to do is walk into an Apple store and say, I need help.
I do it all the time.
You'll be waiting, you'll be sitting there for an hour.
I do it all the time.
Milling around.
You bat your
looking at the
eyelashes.
iPhone.
It can't be that hard. I'm just kidding.
I think it's because of your underwear, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, I know. You'd think that they don't seem to mind. No, but so here's the deal. So you go a classic appointment model, right? You go in and they say, okay, here's a slot for you. What's your problem? Sit over there. We'll get to you as soon as we can. So now what you do is, as a customer, you describe your issue to one of the people who's working at the Genius Bar.
That happens.
And
No. Before you get to the Genius, this happens now. Doesn't this happen to you? You go to the Apple store. There's a person at the front with a clipboard.
Yeah.
That's, I think, where you start.
Yeah, but if you
And they
walk
do
up to the Genius
triage.
or whatever,
You go to the bar?
You can.
You get to go right to the bar?
Well, I mean, they're
See,
not
I
going to.
knew this
they're not
wasn't
gonna,
the same.
restrain you.
It's like when Eddie Murphy dressed up as a white man. He found out that white people don't have to pay for their newspapers. You're a girl. It's a different experience for you. You just stride right in. You say, hello, I'm an attractive woman.
You're telling me,
I'm
right,
going straight to the Genius Bar.
You're telling me if you start walking to the Genius Bar, someone will physically restrain you.
Excuse me,
bring
sir.
you down to the floor
Excuse
in
you,
a
sir.
headlock and say, what do you want?
They don't need a headlock. They just say, wait, I have to talk to you first, and then you can go to the Genius Bar. You don't have that experience?
That's never. No. I think that's a little much, actually. I'd say, excuse you.
Talk to the hand. You just keep walking.
Face don't want to hear that. Anyway, that's weird. It's like two different worlds.
Yeah.
So.
It's always been a different world for you attractive young women.
Come on. I'm an old grandmother. Anyway, what you're going to do now is update your issue into an iPad application, some sort of app. It's for the store. It's not for you.
Yeah,
and me.
they'll be doing that.
Yeah. Then an algorithm will help put customers into queue based on priorities. So, for example, if you're like, oh my gosh, I just shattered my iPhone screen. That's like a pretty high priority.
You go right to the front of the line.
Yeah, rather than someone's like, I have a question about iCloud.
Back of the line.
Yeah. Now, there's something about this that bothers me a little bit because...
It's not first come, first serve.
Right.
They're deciding some people are more important than other people.
And the thing is that if you have what Apple deems to be a minor iCloud issue, it's a little insulting if you're like, I think it's a big issue, and
my issue?
Yeah, it's my issue, and you're kind
I'm
of like
sorry.
you're kind of dumb. It almost makes me feel like if you're at the bottom of a queue and you have to have all these like shattered. Who are the shattered screen people? They're the people who've got butterfingers.
This is like the emergency room at the hospital. Mm-hmm. When you go in, they say, and by the way, this is why you should always say, I'm having trouble breathing, and I only can smile with half my face.
Yeah.
And then you
Can
get
you please
seen,
look at my ankle that might be slightly
Yeah, don't
rolled.
say, oh, my knee hurts. You'll be sitting there for hours. So it's called triage. Mm-hmm. It is the decision on who to treat first. I think it's interesting. But we got to make the point that you still could go online no matter what stupid problem you have.
Right.
And get an appointment and then just show up at that time and you'll get seen right away. This is only for walk-ins.
And, I mean, as we see with every single time iPads or iPhones are released, there are plenty of people who still do that.
Well, I think one of the
Plenty of
reasons they said
people.
they want to do this is that the stores are jammed with people milling around waiting for their Genius appointment.
Yeah.
They don't want that kind of...
Especially since they're trying to make the Apple stores look different,
Right.
and you know, it's a new era
We'll see.
for Apple stores.
We'll see.
I would love to say that I'm never in a Genius bar. I'm never really in a Genius bar because I have not been able to figure out an issue, but I have been in a Genius bar once or twice
Butterfingers?
with a
Much?
shattered screen.
Are you a Butterfingers?
I like Butterfingers.
You don't deserve to be in the front of the line, Miss Butterfingers.
But I will be.
You will be.
Because Apple says, ooh, you're in a real pinch, aren't you?
Yeah, she's in a pickle.
You're in a pickle. Do we want to talk about how Apple is the biggest company by market cap, like twice as much as Exxon, which is the second biggest company?
So they've been the biggest company for a while.
Right.
They are now so much bigger than the #2 company. They're actually twice as big as the #2 company.
Right.
They're double the size, the market cap of Exxon.
And remember when Apple topped Exxon for a minute,
That was
and then
like,
went back
ooh.
down, and everyone was like, oh my God, oh my God. And that was 4 years ago.
For 5 seconds, Apple was the most valuable
More
company in
than
the world.
twice as valuable.
Now it's they've lapped them.
It's starting to get it's almost just funny. It's I can't even get, well, I don't get up in arms about stuff like that anyway because I like
Let me
Apple,
check
but it's
the price.
even for the people who get up in arms about this stuff, it's it just, I don't, it's just.
But remember, this is based on stock price.
Right.
And the stock right now is high because the
Expectations.
the old adage
Great
is
quarter.
buy on the rumor,
Right.
sell on the whatever.
On the crappy reality.
Yeah. So buy on the rumor, sell on the crappy reality.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they say. Analysts. I went to analyst school.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I
You
don't-
should have.
I don't know.
You'd
what
be
that-
good.
I don't know what that is. Nah,
Analyst
you
school.
shouldn't. I'm
Is
not.
there a school for analysts?
I don't know, but I bet Linda would know. If there was.
Apple has gone down a couple of bucks on Friday, $128, but it's still up so much more than it was, and it's still worth $759.63 billion, which is almost double Exxon. Oh my gosh. But again, that's only stock price.
Right.
Of course, they are the most profitable company in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And with the watch, gosh, who knows?
It will be very interesting. It will be. It will be.
With money like that, you could probably buy any kind of underwear you wanted.
Yeah. You know, it's
Is that a bad segue?
it's funny because.
She's trying to make it good. Watch. This is why Sarah's such a pro.
Oh, come on.
Why
Now
is
you're
that
messing
funny?
it up.
I know. Sometimes we want to break the fourth wall and let them see the sausage
It's
being
funny
made.
because you have heard of Bitcoin exchanges.
I have.
But you didn't know that some of us pay for things with our underwear.
No, we don't. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't even. No, it's a bad image. Let me tell you this.
What my point is, I need some new underwear
Oh, you've actually.
because I've got stock in Apple. And my underwear drawer is empty.
Are you drunk on strawberry yogurt pretzels?
Don't give me any
Is
more
that
of
what's
those.
going on?
I ate them all.
They're gone?
I don't know. I tried. You set me up in a weird way. You were a bad pitcher. You know?
Wait a minute, let's try
Buster
that
Cozi,
again.
and I'm just trying to
I
catch
know.
this wild
You couldn't,
pitch.
it was a wild pitch. It's not your fault. It's not a passed ball. It's a wild pitch. Let's start over.
Okay.
You know, I wonder what color underwear you're wearing today.
Oh, well, they are black.
Okay, that didn't
Why
work
do you
so well
ask?
either. Because MeUndies makes that boring old black underwear something extra special.
Ooh.
at MeUndies.com. MEUNDIES. This is literally the best underwear. You'll look just like that. This is the best underwear I have ever worn.
Look how much fun they're having.
Made from modal, which is a kind of an interesting fiber made out of birch trees from the Austrian Alps.
Very soft.
Beechwood, not birch. That's from 50 Shades of Grey. Beechwood trees in the Austrian Alps. Were you wearing those black ones? Those are cute. For men and for women. Those are cute.
Yeah, that's well, it's one of the two. Let's just put it that way. One of the two.
MeUndies, not only made from a really beautiful soft fabric, there's the modal, but it's also environmentally friendly, which is kind of neat. Low carbon footprint, CO2 neutral process, saves water and energy due to their spun-dyed fiber process, which also means, by the way, that the color is fast. You could put your red underwear in with your white T-shirts. You don't have to worry so much about that.
Oh, that's nice.
I know, I like that.
I hate separating
I'm
my
really
colors.
bad at that.
Yeah.
But also, it's comfortable. It kind of conforms to your body without being tight. So it's, you know what I'm going to say? It's a little sexy. It's cute. It's cute underwear, and it's fun. You can get all sorts of MeUndies patterns, all sorts of styles for men and women. They wick moisture away from your skin, so you always feel cool and stay cool. It's just, I don't know what you wear underwear a lot. Like 90% of your life is spent in underwear. Why not have something comfortable, cute, cozy, and fun?
You can also see that they've got, like, especially for women, I really can't say much for the men's T-shirts because,
these are
well,
cute.
I'm not a man, but
look at these.
I got a couple pairs, like the V-neck on the left-hand side. I got that in gray.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's really, it's like so soft, so comfortable.
Is that the one you got?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
That's actually, yeah, it's a gray color. But there's something about the fabric also that, you know, with T-shirts like that.
It's better than cotton.
And the last thing you want to do is iron a T-shirt, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's something about this fabric where it doesn't get wrinkly
Actually, that one is
the
cotton.
same way.
That one's cotton. So it's not all modal. They do have some cotton
it's a combed cotton thing. I think there must be some way that they I don't know what combed cotton really means because I don't have anything about it. But yeah, because I do this thing where I like roll up all my T-shirts in one of my drawers, and because
that's what I do too.
I need more room.
I don't want to fold them, so I roll them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still sometimes get creases that you don't want, and that T-shirt of all the T-shirts
you
has
just shake it out, and
yep.
it's boom, it's ready to go.
It's good to go.
French terry sweatpants.
Cute.
Those are so cute. You get the footies, the socks, the boot socks.
All of it.
It's very colorful, very fun. MeUndies. Now here's the deal, because you know I'm not going to do a product unless I get you a deal. That's kind of the thing. That's who I am.
That's what I like about you.
MeUndies.com/twit is a special page for you. MEUNDIES. Me, like me, undies.com/twit, and you're going to get 20% off and free shipping. 20% off and free shipping on your first order, even more if you buy a pack, which I would do. And don't worry, they guarantee you'll be happier your first pair is free. 20% off when you go to MeUndies.com/twit. Look at those. They're fun. I just wander around the house in my underwear now because it's so cute. MeUndies.com. Look at that, polka dots. Who doesn't love polka dots? MeUndies.com/twit. I'd show you mine right now.
Big fan of polka dots.
But I've been told not to.
Well,
I had to take that class. They made me sign a thing.
HR, such a bummer. So, have you heard that VLC is back in the iOS App Store?
It comes, it goes, it goes, it
comes, it goes.
You don't know.
You don't get a lot of, information on what's going on. But for those people who say like, oh, VLC player, that's great.
You should have it.
Yeah, like what's different? There's quite a few. Okay, so I think the way that the history went is the VLC had launched in the App Store and got pulled and then like triumphantly returned about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And then it was like redesigned for iOS 7 and then it disappeared about 6 months, not even 6 months ago, like last September. And then now it's back.
Now, I gotta warn you. First of all, we should tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It stands for Video LAN Client. And I gotta warn you, if you search for VLC, you will find things that are not real VLC. So search for Video LAN.
Right.
And you'll get VLC for iOS.
Right.
Do not search for VLC. This is a problem in all the app stores because everybody thinks they want VLC. And they even use this orange traffic cone, and I think that's deceptive, on the non-official VLC.
Yeah.
It's free. It comes from French schoolboys, and it is used for what? I don't know. I just like it.
Well, it is, I think many of you may know it over the years as like the one way that you could play a movie that was in some strange format that you didn't have codecs for. It's like VLC player was just, it was like the least problematic of all of your options.
And without knowing why Apple pulls it, I would guess that you just said the magic phrase, which is the codecs. So there are open source free codecs, but most codecs are actually owned by a company. And VLC was great because on a desktop, Mac or Windows, you download VLC, you'll get all the codecs, even codecs that could play back DVDs, and that probably isn't an open source codec. And I would guess that the folks at Apple and VLC go back and forth about what codecs the VLC can put in there and so forth. And the other problem is, of course, it's a video player, which I don't think we've said yet. This is a video player. And I think that Apple has always said, we don't want to duplicate functionality. We already have a video player. The problem is Apple's video player won't play back MKVs and just oddball file formats that you would run into on the internet. And VLC will. You also can watch us from VLC. And a lot of our most hardcore fans prefer to watch us through VLC than through our web pages using, you know, it's always a problem on iOS because a lot of our partners like Ustream use Flash. So VLC is a great choice. Now, to use VLC with us, I would suggest going to wiki.twit.tv. There's a link there, how to watch, because you have to have the right URL. It changes, I think, from time to time and so forth. I'm thrilled. VLC is back on, here, let me just show you real quickly. On iOS, it does allow you also to sync up to a desktop and play stuff through Wi-Fi, which is great. You can upload your media to Google Drive or Dropbox and play it that way as well, which it gives you more capabilities. So it's
they have
really
like folder
important.
support for G Drive now, native support for Plex for people who have Plex media servers.
Really great for that. Free and open source. So get it from Videoland or Inc. or whatever it is, because that's the official VLC.
You know, when I got it, I think that I just searched for VLC, and yeah, it's like the fourth VLC for
that's
iOS.
what's deceptive.
Well,
See?
but it's just look
the
at,
first
you know,
two,
just
those aren't real.
That's correct. Yeah, that's just make sure that it's offered by Videoland.
Videoland is the key.
Yeah, that is like VLC remote free. Nope, wrong go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who those are, and I don't know if they're bad, but I just know that that's not the one we're talking about.
Hey, so we haven't talked about Siri for like, oh my God, 2 weeks. Do you know that?
But she's always listening. That's
she
the good
is,
news.
or he, if you want it to be a man, Siri. Siri has learned some new languages. Did you hear the good news? Have you heard the good word?
I haven't heard the good word.
The good word is that Siri has learned Russian, Danish, Dutch, Portuguese, Swedish, Thai, and Turkish. Well, that'll be for iOS 8.3 Beta 2.
Wow.
But that is coming to Siri if you have an iPad that is Siri enabled, or Siri, not Siri enabled, but Siri, if Siri's available on your iPads, once we get to into iOS 8.3, which is next month-ish, public beta, the second beta anyway, there are other languages that Siri will recognize,
By the way,
which is pretty cool.
I went to the wiki. I got the link for VLC. What you do is you go into the menu of VLC, open network stream. Whoops, I made that a download. You want to watch it live, and then paste in the link, and there I am. You noticed how fast that loaded? I love the player. I love the capabilities of the player. This is, we're in Inception.
Oh my gosh.
Inception.
What in the
heck?
heck?
We're going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole.
What is happening? I don't understand what I'm looking at. Why are we doing this?
Are you really in charge of TV at TechCrunch? is that really your job?
Every time there's an echo, I'm like, what the heck?
What's going on?
Why is there an echo?
What's going on now?
I'm in charge of content, sir.
Oh, you don't have to worry about...
I'm not in charge of rabbit holes.
Infinite rabbit holes, TV Inception. By the way, VLC does support AirPlay. That's nice. I like it.
I thought it always did.
Yeah, I'm just saying it does. I don't know. I don't use it.
You're just reminding us.
I don't use it.
That is something that it also does support.
Yes, indeed.
Have you, it was so funny, I was at this dinner party last night, and my friends have a little kid, and they were talking about how they are making a concerted effort not only to just put her in front of the TV, like she never does that, but to not, get her too used to having the iPad as the thing that gives her everything that she needs.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, but, okay, I'm not a parent, totally your choice, but just why? Because there is an interactivity element to it. If she knows that if she presses a certain button, then she gets the,
yeah, it's like a
the
hamster.
cartoon that she wants.
Yeah, she gets a food pellet.
And this, it sort of seems like skills that would help mold something down the road.
Not unless you want your kid to be a hamster.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure lots of people have different opinions about this, and if you're a parent, please do weigh in. But it was so funny because they said, what's interesting is that for whatever reason, she doesn't really care about the iPad. It's just that when you go, she goes, hey, 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 hey.
She likes the sound.
She just
likes the Siri
She
boop.
just likes this. Yeah, you do that.
Does she talk to Siri yet?
No.
How old is she?
She's like, she's about 15 months. So she's talking
I wonder
gibberish.
if kids born now, like,
By the way,
start
Siri
talking to Siri.
Siri thought that we said Syria. Gave us a lot of interesting information about Syria. Things aren't going that well. Syria.
You want to do an app cap, or do you have more?
Well, I thought that before we did that,
yes,
we could talk I saw you looking at your watch. You have somewhere to be, don't you?
I just got a text that says, wrap it up, I'm starving.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, really quick then. Really quick. Hi, Lisa.
No, that wasn't from Lisa, that's my son.
Oh.
No, it was from Lisa, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, your son talks to you like that?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to talk very briefly about Google's headquarters. I'm sure you guys...
You mentioned this, but I don't know what you're talking about here.
You don't?
No.
Really?
What is it?
Okay, so Zach...
You're saying that Google has like Apple's building the Ring.
Apple's building the Ring. Yeah, it's like the Apple Death Star of headquarters, right?
Yeah.
But Google now has its own...
They're going to do a triangle?
Well, Zach, do you have the video that's embedded in that Wired article that I sent you? There you go. So, yeah, they kind of like walk through. This is a proposal, by the way. So this is not something that's like happening just yet. But Google says, all right, Apple, we see your Cupertino headquarters, and we raise you our headquarters idea in Mountain View. You can skip ahead a tiny bit.
This is a self-driving car. It's driving down
There's a little bit of
road.
setup of how great Google is. Go ahead a little bit.
Look, see, we make things out of paper.
Yeah, so
we're building a giant umbrella fort.
Yeah, so it's a bunch of engineers talking about the space.
You don't want a porcupine building.
A space that they're imagining. Look at that thing.
It's Google Island.
Yeah, and it's like they've got these mock-ups, these renderings, and it shows people like doing yoga on a platform, and other people underneath them
watch this.
riding bikes. Oh, it's crazy! I don't know how you haven't heard about the Google.
Well, I was busy watching the llamas driving.
The crazy Google-ness. Now, again, this is not something that has been approved by the city of Mountain View, and it will need to be. But it's like it's sort of like a weird, futuristic, utopian, scary town.
Google looks too crowded. I don't want to be there. There's too many people.
No?
Actually, I've been to Google. Google never looks like there's that many people wandering around.
Have you been to their cafeteria at lunch?
Then it's busy.
That's busy. There's more people in that cafeteria than you see anywhere else. Anyway, I thought that it was interesting that they're sort of doing war. The big profitable companies are doing like war of the headquarters.
You know what? And Facebook's doing this. You know what they say? What? That is when a company is at its peak. As soon as the company, and this has historically been true, as soon as the company builds the massive egomaniacal corporate headquarters, that is the beginning of the end for that company.
So why do companies continue to do that?
Because that's what happens. You get very wealthy, very successful, and you start getting grandiose, and you build a giant, studio of 10,000 square feet with massive, or things like that. No, I'm not kidding. This is like being on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
That's the thing.
It's considered a jinx.
So why, like, it's not like...
But they're not going to... Well, they don't believe it.
Has no one in, executive land heard this theory?
Everybody's always heard this.
I think
Doesn't stop them because
Well,
they are masters of the universe.
when it comes to Google, though, of course, it's like they want to come up with all these really interesting, creative ways to keep the employees happy so that the employees work all day and night and never want to leave. And have the best food. They have such good food there.
That's absolutely true because they're hiring, and then Microsoft invented this, they're often hiring kids right out of college.
Yep.
And the kids want kind of
work for us.
a college-like environment, a campus.
Right.
Remember, in college, you get, stuff's taken care of. You have a dining hall. And so these companies are trying to hire the smartest people out of college.
Right.
What are they going to do? They're going to make their campus be a campus.
Right, you just don't have to think about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just code, man. Just code. Just be an engineer. Do what you do. We love hearing from all of you. For next week, we would love very much for you to either call us, 757-504-IPAD is our Google voicemail, or you can write us at iPad today at twit.tv, or you can tweet at Leo and I, at Leo Laporte, or at Leoville. What are you? You're Leo Laporte on Twitter. I'm Sarah Lane. Whatever. You just, carrier pigeon is fine. Don't send it to my house, though, because I'm never home. Maybe send it to Leo's.
What? Send what? A turkey?
A carrier pigeon.
A carrier pigeon.
Yeah, he landed in the
I
hot
have
tub.
just
go
one
like
thing
this.
to say about corporate headquarters.
What's that?
I met a traveler from an antique land
Okay.
who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear, my name is Ozymandias, King of Kings, look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." And you know what happened to him? He's gone.
Because he built a corporate headquarters?
Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
That was really good.
So we've known this since the time, Ozymandias, by the way, is, I think, Ramses II.
Will no one listen to Ozymandias?
Listen.
Will history continue to repeat itself?
They built the pyramids, and that was it. Our show today brought to you by Gazelle. You want money to fund your corporate headquarters?
Sure do.
Start by not throwing your old gadgets into a drawer where they're gathering dust. That you wouldn't take peel off $100 bills and throw them in the drawer to get dusty. No, that's cash in your pocket. Go out, get what's in your drawers, get your old gadgets, and send them to Gazelle. In fact, right now, I want you to go to Gazelle.com and at least get a quote. Find out what that old gadget is worth, that old iPhone, that old tablet, Samsung Galaxy, they'll even buy Surface tablets, Surface Pro 3, Surface Pro 2. You get great prices, too, and that's one of the nicest things. Google, Nexus tablets, Asus tablets. So here's the deal. Don't just put that stuff in a drawer. Someday, I don't know, I'll use it or whatever. Just sell it to Gazelle. Get the quote. It's good for 30 days. You don't have to pull the trigger right away. Gather as much as you can. Once you do check out, they'll send you a box prepaid, so you don't have to pay shipping. They turn it around fast, too. Their experts will, examine it, will wipe data if you forget. And then they'll send you a check, PayPal, an Amazon gift card. That's nice. The Amazon gift card's nice. And now you might ask, well, what happens to all these old phones and tablets?
Yeah.
Well, the best of the best, they sell on their Gazelle certified pre-owned site. Now, these are either in very good condition, they call that certified like new, or good condition. They show some gentle signs of wear, maybe a little ding or a scratch, but you're going to save a lot of money. And I bet you it's in better shape than that iPhone you dropped or broke or lost. All devices, every one of them, have been put through a rigorous 30-point inspection. I don't think they take 30 days to do it. And they ensure they're fully functional, but you do have 30 days to return it risk-free should anything be unsatisfactory. Certified pre-owned devices are backed by a 30-day risk-free return policy. So, to recap, sell your stuff to Gazelle. Get paid in cash. Payments fast. It's risk-free. Gazelle's paid out over $200 million now to over 1 million customers. Shipping is free. The processing fast. And if you want to buy, a great place to go to get a great condition, slightly used, in some cases not used at all, gadget from Gazelle. I love them. Gazelle.com. Gazelle.com.
Gazelle.com. Oh, while you were talking about gazelle, I turned into a pepper.
You're making me hungry looking at that pepper.
Thought you might be.
If Lisa's watching, she's probably thinking, man, I
She's
could
probably
really use a
thinking,
chicken right now.
A pepper chicken. Yeah.
It's dinner time.
It's dinner time. It's also the App Cap Awards. This is the part of the show where Leo and I wear hats. Sometimes
that's a
they're
cute
so
one.
big.
They don't fit in the frame.
I look like I belong at, what's the hot dog on a stick? Remember hot dog on a stick? Do they still have those? I always felt sorry for
Do they
the
have
girls.
turkey on a stick?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know you've mentioned this before, the jumping up and down with the plunger.
It was not okay.
You didn't work there as a teenager, did you?
No.
Oh.
I never worked in food service.
Oh, I did.
Never done, well, grocery
Loved
store,
it.
but not food service.
Oh, I worked at McDonald's for years.
Well, then I would think
Loved
you
that.
would know hot dog on a stick.
Never had to wear a uniform.
I'm
like
not
that.
positive that hot dog on a stick exists anymore, but I don't know my mall stuff so much. I don't go anywhere anymore. So, all right.
What's your app cap, Sarah?
Okay.
All right.
This is the part of the show where Leo and I put on caps and we each pick an app that we think you
Yes,
would like.
we do.
So my app this week I found through the App Store. It was in some sort of like productivity category or something, and it's called CalcBot. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a calculator. But before we get into it, just look at this cute little icon for CalcBot. It's like, hello, I am CalcBot. I would like to give you an equation. Please enter things. Okay, so CalcBot is, it's I don't know why it's telling me how to do this. So it's a calculator, and it's obviously something that can support, you know, complex stuff. Right? What is the why am I can I think of the kind of calculator?
Scientific?
Scientific calculator. However.
Or what?
However. So you know, if you're like 5 times 3, okay, there we go. All right. So I already had something in there, so it was like 85. So 3 times. Okay, that's all very easy and fine and good. Now I can go through my history and see. Some calculations that I've already performed. You can star something. If, for example, I don't know, are you like a math nerd? Are you taking a bunch of math?
I wasn't a mathlete like you, but...
Well, I'm, you know, that was a lifetime ago. But if you're, you know, making some calculations and it is something that was, you know, some sort of a complicated string and it's something that you think you're going to have to recall later, blah blah blah, you can go ahead and star it. So you can go ahead and say, I just want to look at my stars, and then you can either use the result or use the expression. So there's a couple different ways to show how I arrived at this number that's almost exactly 1, but not quite. And it gives you kind of some funny options like send us an email. Because maybe, I don't know, you're
Well,
going to
you
be like...
email the results?
Yeah, like to somebody if you were like, here's how you do it type thing.
Actually, that's kind
Now,
of
if you want to clear your history, they call it tape. It's basically clearing your
Love
history.
tape, yeah.
You could even say, let's say somebody was like, hey, you know, you had to, I don't know, work out, you know, a whole page worth of some sort of equation, whatever. You could send the entire tape, which is basically a shot of your history via email. But here's where it gets really weird. If you go into settings and you go into, under conversion, you go to categories and units, you start getting some crazy stuff. So you've got stuff like speed, temperature, mass, length. Oh, that's kind of cool. Data size. But if you go into, no, actually, this is not where I was. Ooh, no. I'm in the wrong place here. If you go to,
That's a mighty big number for such a little girl.
Isn't it though? Isn't it though?
What are you calculating?
No, hold on a second, Sarah. Where were you? Temperature, Celsius, speed. No, I'm not in the right place. I thought I was. No, this is actually kind of nice too, because it'll just convert stuff on the fly, right? You know.
Why do they call it a bot? It doesn't do it for you. Well, I guess it does.
It absolutely
Look at that.
does.
That's kind of cool.
It's CalcBot. Yeah. Now, CalcBot Pro is something that you can upgrade to, but we're not even going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about regular old CalcBot because it's good enough.
Yeah.
Now, hold on a second, Sarah. Think about what you're doing here, because I did this earlier and I was so excited about showing you guys. I thought it was in my settings, right? Settings, categories and units. Well, crap. Well, gosh, dag-nabbit.
Dag-nabbit.
No, hold on. Around for currency. Constants.
Hold on there.
Okay. That's what it was. Constants. If you go into the constants area, you can go ahead and add a variety of constants. Or here are some of the default constants that even somebody who's like really, well, if you're as familiar with math as obviously the people who made CalcBot, you're just gonna laugh at me and be like, you're such a noob. But some of this stuff is—
No, I don't know Euler's
is
constant.
crazy.
No, off the top of my head,
Like,
are you kidding?
would you like to turn on magnetic flux quantum?
Yeah.
Would you like to turn on molar
Hell yeah.
volume of ideal gas? Absolutely.
I need more moles.
How about proton Compton wavelength?
Compton?
Yeah. How about standard
Straight
atmosphere?
out of Compton wavelength?
That's right. Second radiation constant, not the first, the second. I don't know. I just love this stuff.
So when you turn it on, what happens? It just knows it?
Well, it's basically like it's like saying this is something that if all other—
If I see this, use it.
Yeah, if all other variables change, this is something that we know to be true, right? That's what a constant would be. Anyway, as you can see, there's a lot going on with CalcBot.
Does it have
it's
graphs?
completely free. Yeah, it's got everything.
That's neat.
It's got everything.
I like this. How much? Free?
Free.
See, now that's the thing. You have a kind of very rudimentary calculator, right?
Yeah.
So you have.
Why not have a better one?
But if you're gonna, but if you're gonna do it, might as well. I mean, there's so much better you could do, and there are a lot of very expensive paid calculators. I like it that there's a free replacement that has
CalcBot.
lots of cool stuff in it. Said a man with a chicken on
Doug
his
B's
head.
like, you're bad at math. Well, it's how do you show off a calculator, you know? Anyway.
2 plus
plus,
2.
he has to go to dinner, so I'm all, you know, trying to rush through it.
This hat makes me hungry.
It makes me
So
hungry.
Take a wing
Hungry
right
and
off.
thirsty.
This came out while you were gone.
Okay.
But, you know, we talk a lot about photo editors, and I keep showing them, like, Photoshop and Snapseed and Aviary. And I know you might be thinking, Leo, haven't you had enough of these? But this one's really good. It is iPhone only right now. I suspect there will be a version of Darkroom for the iPad. But, of course, it still works on the iPad. The idea of Darkroom is, first of all, it's free with in-app purchases. And I've already, I immediately spent the $4 or $5 to get the rest of it. What is nice about it, it has a lot of the obvious simple features and filters. You can create filters, which we were talking about last week with your filter program. But this does something that no other program on the iPad does. Curves. Now, this is a feature that you get in Photoshop and Lightroom. But the ability to do this is, I think, extremely powerful. Curves not only gives you the RGB channel, you can do it in each of the 3 channels individually. And for instance, it's a simple way to increase contrast is to increase a curve in one of the, I can't remember if the red or the green channel. Now, the problem with curves is you do have to buy this. I don't want to sign in. I've already bought it, but I didn't install it on here. So I'm not going to. I have been very happy with this Darkroom program. You should certainly, if you have an iPhone, put it on your iPhone. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this?
Good question.
Maybe it isn't really ready for the, I guess I have to get
What in
this.
the world?
It's not ready for the iPhone, maybe. I don't know.
For the iPad?
I mean, the iPad. I'm missing it. There it is. Oops. I said pressed buy again. All right. This is, I think, a really fabulous app that you should absolutely try. It does allow you to do some interesting things, create filters, save filters. But I think the most interesting and the most useful part of this is the ability to do curves. So while I say it's free, and some of the simple tools are free, you're probably going to want to spend some money. $2.99 for the individual RGB channels. And I expect more from this as well. I think these guys really have kind of nailed it. It does share directly to Instagram, as we know, and it has a feature which I kind of like, the square photo feature, so you kind of know ahead of time that you're working in a photo, which aspect ratio, and of course you can share it to all of the other traditional things through the share sheet and save it back to your camera roll. Darkroom, get the right Darkroom, by the way. It's the one with the Purple Mountains Majesty on it. There are quite a few apps in the App Store. It's the purple icon with the mountains on it. And again, you're going to have to look in the iPhone section, not the iPad section, to find it. But it's from Bergen Company, if you have a question about it. A very nice...
Bergen.
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 And, you know, they just did their first update. I mean, it literally came out 2 weeks ago. I suspect that you're going to see a lot more from these guys. They're very smart. And I think they've done something really interesting. Only one in-app purchase, that's the Curve. the curves feature for $2.99. Free otherwise to play with. Really nicely done. Darkroom, you know, as a photo guy, I have them all. Because the iPad is like the ultimate photo editor. I put all my photos on the iPad and then I just play. Sarah, time to take off the chili pepper and say goodbye to our fine friends at home.
Somebody in the chat rooms is like, the top of Sarah's chili pepper is chromed out in the two-shot.
Is.
Look, go back to the two-shot.
But it just happens to be...
It's something else.
You could put blue sky in there.
You could.
Why are we on a chroma key?
Good question.
Are you a weather person?
It's kind of cool. See, I watch and listen to everything you say. I just ignore most of it. That's it for this edition of iPad Today. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll be back next week. Episode number...
Yeah, a lot of them.
239. Episode 238's in the can. See you later. Bye.